I like going to sea, and I definitely like the component of activism. I think it makes for a more fulfilled, useful, involved life. That's why I've been working for environmental groups for 40 years now. Rainbow Warrior was a North Sea trawler bought by Greenpeace in '78, used for different campaigns all over the world. I literally knew every nut and bolt on the boat. There were, I think, 12 of us. We came from countries all over the world. We were berthed in Auckland Harbor prior to leaving about 2 weeks later for French Polynesia, where we intended to confront French authorities over their nuclear testing program. I went to bed about 11:15, 11:30. I read for a little while, went to sleep, and I woke up when the boat shuddered. Initially, I thought we were involved with a collision at sea. I got up, walked down to the engine room door where I met Chief Engineer Davey Edward, and he was muttering to himself, well, it's over, she's finished, she's done for. So by the 30 seconds it took me to walk down the hall, the boat had, for all intents and purposes, sunk. The first bomb blew a hole about 6 by 6 feet through the side of the hull, like you would punch your hand through a paper bag. So I went back to the after accommodations, looked down the stairs and saw the chief mate, Martini Gauthier, who was getting people up and out of there. That's when the second bomb went off and the boat violently shook under my feet. I said to Martini, is everyone up? He said yes. And I said, well, okay, abandon ship. We've got to get out of here now. Bombs are going off all around us, and obviously the boat's been crippled in some sort of major way. And I thought, it's really time to get out. Fernando had been in the mess with Martini and Davey. The bomb had gone off and he went to his cabin for his cameras, most likely. And he couldn't get out. He was trapped in his cabin by the second bomb. The police dive team was unable to get through the diesel fuel. And by the time the Navy arrived, it had dissipated enough so they could go down and find him. That's when I identified him, and I went back to tell the crew that he was dead.
In the South Pacific, the search is on for a group of people described by the Prime Minister of New Zealand as ruthless, calculating killers.
Initially, the police suspected us, but when they found that the bombs had been planted outside the hull, they relaxed towards us quite a bit. I think one of the things that so surprised all of us was that here was a first world superpower, and a bunch of hippies on an old British trawler had scared them so badly that they were quite happy to murder us. France thought they could operate with impunity in New Zealand and nobody would be smart enough to notice them. About 3 days later, or 2 days later, we learned that the French agents had been essentially caught red-handed. You can try to justify a lot of different things, but when you lose a shipmate, it just doesn't get any worse than that. It's absolutely the worst feeling you can have, as a captain, as a shipmate, as anybody. One thing I'm still angry about is that today the French government has never apologized for the murder of Fernando.